Okay, so this video is more about me just getting things off my chest than it is about making it entertaining or whatever. So that's why I'm listening to music. I'm gonna be hitting my pen, and there's no Schopenhauer because I only have two devices, and I'm using one to record and one to listen to for me because I have things to say, and I'm feeling a little spunky right now. Okay. And this music literally keeps it flowing, which makes perfect sense because I'm here to introduce quantum idealism. Now, I don't like to call it that because I personally hate the word idealism. It sounds, I agree, like woohoo, wishy washy, frou frou, bro, anything. But quantum idealism is literally telling you that quantum mechanics is telling you that essentially Buddhism, Kashmir Shaivism, and Advaita Vedanta are right, okay? You have to understand, there is absolutely no difference between the West's Copenhagen interpretation and Buddhism. Let's just stick with Buddhism. And Buddhism, like, we'll stick with, like, let's get away from Theravada. So, like, Mahayana, Vajrayana, Zen, Yogacara, Dzogchen, these are much more closer to the truth than Theravada, in a sense of that Theravada is much more akin to Advaita Vedanta. They're about stripping everything away. Advaita Vedanta and Theravada are what you need. They are the medicine. They are the antidote to the poison that is this world. Poison! If any of you like Parks and Rec, you guys know that. Poison! Dude, this world is poison, okay? You need to understand that. Not the world, not the people, but the thought process of this world. The understanding of this world is literal poison, okay? The most important thing is love, then understanding, okay? Now, let's move on. Quantum mechanics, Schrodinger, Planck, particle wave duality, De Broglie, or was it Dirac? Yeah, Dirac's equation finding the positron, the most beautiful equation in all of physics. I completely agree. Because Dirac pretty much shows that everything is a hologram, and there's nothing outside the hologram. It's all Princess Leia, and the only thing outside of Princess Leia is just the Princess Leia. Like, it's the holographic principle, which again, I'm just gonna spit out a bunch of random shit. Okay, so there's a thing that called the holographic principle that Stephen Hawkins and I equate Richard Feynman a lot right there too, because what Hawkins is talking about is an information field, a 2D information field. Now, you guys, that's your mindset, because this isn't a real physical world. This is a generation, okay? This is a generated world. It's not a standstill continuum. It's not that at all. It's a flickering world, okay? So why I use Buddhism just a little bit more than Advaita Vedanta or Kashmir Shaivism or even Kriya Yoga, it's not that those three are wrong. They're not. And neither is Christian mysticism, and neither is Sufism, and neither is correctly understood Kabbalah, okay? They're all saying the same fucking thing in Taoism. And, anything like that, it's telling you the truth in its own way. Now, okay. Now, we need to understand why we're using Buddhism to literally prove Western understanding of quantum mechanics, quantum physics, quantum field theory through Bohr, Richard Feynman, all that stuff is the same thing essentially as Buddhism, because Buddhism uses momentariness, okay? It came from Brahman, the Vedas, the Upanishads. It came from all that stuff, which is the same thing as the continuum, you guys. Not to say that Brahman is wrong. Brahman's the energy. It's not to say that the continuum that we know is wrong. It's the energy. It's just misunderstood. So Buddha was like, listen, there is no solid ground to stand on. There's nothing to stand on. Now, this is important because this is Theravada. When you go to things like Dzogchen, they actually do admit essentially what Brahman and the Vedas and Kashmir Shaivism and Paramashiva say, which is that the more contemporary, the more modern forms of Buddhism, if you can call them modern, they actually admit to something called, like, Ji, specifically Dzogchen. Yogacara says something like storehouse consciousness. You guys, this is the equivalent to the Western understanding of 0 point energy. This isn't a real world out here, you guys, okay? Not a solid world. It's not separate solid. It is a generated, energetic generation. And it degenerates. Ready? This is the Planck's thing. Here, I'm going to write it out. The actual scale. Oh, and this is what I'm working on. See, this is the actual structure of, this is the actual fabric of what's going on out here, okay? It's Buckminster Fuller's geodesic dome, but instead of a dome, I mean, I guess it's a dome, but it's the dome starts here. So this is the flat part, and this is the dome out here. I'm swimming in the dome. Do you see? It's the architecture of the universe, but it's through the observer. Now, but everything's connected. Don't worry. Everything is one in the sense of what the later Buddhists admit to, which is Ji, which is the ground of being, which is pure. It's blacker than black. It's Vanta black. It's blacker than Vanta black. It's infinite potential. You guys, it's so still. The stillness of the void, of the plenum void, is so still. It's ground shaking. The silence of the plenum void is so silent, it's deafening, okay? I know, I've experienced it, this body mind. And I'm not gonna try to dance around with language and not say I'm a nobody. I'm a drunk, I'm a fool, I'm a joker, I'm a thief, I stole all this knowledge from myself and everybody else to know things. So guys, like, I don't care. I'm a nobody. I don't give a flying heck. I don't care one little bit if I sound egotistical or not, whatever. I know what I am. I am this field. I am this. I am not separate from you. So if I'm sounding egotistical to you, it's not supposed to be that way. If I'm sounding threatening to you, that might be because you need to check your reality. But I am coming off as Kali, okay? I was cleaved by Kali. I belong to Kali. If you want to call me by any name, you can call me that. You call me Kali's child. I am a nobody of Kali, okay? I have been cleaved. My head has been taken right off due to withdrawal void seizure from alcohol, okay? I've literally witnessed the void, you guys. I am that void. I am Brahman. I am Ji. I am Rigpa Ji, okay? But that's just, I'm saying all this so you know you are too. You are this too. We've just been lied to. I'm acting like this because, you guys, there are people like Neil deGrasse Tyson, Sean Carroll, Dave Farnia, or whatever, all these other people online who are materialists, like Sam Harris. Sam Harris is one of the biggest betrayers of all because he knows about Buddhism and he knows about John von Neumann and Wigner. So, you guys, everything, I just put out a video where it's like, everything you know is incomplete. And it's true. Everything you know about the world is incomplete. You are the truth, so you are what completes the truth. But everything you know is incomplete. Even the way you look at yourself. It's not, you're not a body. And you don't have a soul. And you don't have a mind. You don't have anything. There's nothing to have. There's only processes here, okay? So let's get back to what's actually going on here with Planck and Buddhism and momentariness, okay? So Planck found that there isn't a continuous energy. There's not continuum, right? Maxwell's equations fell short. So Planck figured out what's going on here, and he realized that things come in discrete energy packets. Indivisible discrete energy packets. Sounds a lot like Buddhism. It sounds a lot like this. Hold on. This is what's going on. This is Buckminster Fuller's geodesic grid, okay? When you reach out here, this is what's going on. This is a particle. That's what a particle looks like, okay? Do you see how it's indivisible, discrete energy packets over and over again? That's all that's going on out here, you guys. That's it. That's it. And you guys, you need to understand that energy, the 3D world, even the 2D world, even the I, the one-dimensional world, thoughts, those are all excitations. Those are all excitations, particles, or numbers, information, logic, whatever. Those are all represented ones. Every one comes out of a zero, comes out of G, the plenum void, infinite potential. Infinite potential is not out there. Infinite potential is in here. Infinite potential is you. It's this. It's expressing itself. But you need to realize that. Because this isn't a physical world, it's a mental world. Listen, when I collapsed into my friend's arms, it was instantaneous. I was instantaneously in the ambulance. But there was a witnessing, okay? There wasn't an experience because there was nothing X from me. But there was a witnessing. I've said it many times, so I'm going to go quick. I saw the red, green, and blue flash. The phenomenal world. The Planck's world go away. And describing it to you, maybe like 3 seconds. Just being generous. I saw the flash. The flash disappeared as fast as it appeared. And there was pure no-thingness. Pure awareness being. Pure Vanta Black plenum voiding. You need to understand that. Because that's the ground that the Buddhists were talking about. That's the 0 point in quantum mechanics. Because quantum mechanics is actually quantum field theory, which is actually quantum idealism. Physicality is mentality, is representation of a mental process. So, back to this image. Planck, ready? You're going to watch me. You're going to watch me see how long it takes to write out what's actually going on here. Ready? Okay, I think that is 43 zeros after the 1. Right here. Okay. So Buddhism got this right thousands of years ago, you guys, okay? That's how I know this is a conscious-based universe, a mental-based universe, not physical, and from my own experience. But this is how I know I can sit here and talk all this stuff to you guys and not worry about that I'm wrong or that I sound foolish, because no, you guys, we just don't understand anything, okay? There's 43 zeros after this 1. That means every second, you guys, and you can check the math, you can go to quantum physics, every second there is 10 to the power of 43. So it blinks in and out, you guys. Reality is so quick. It's so momentary. It's so indivisibly discrete packets of energy. It comes in and out this number of times in 1 second. Each second, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. It just did this twice. Guys, it's quantum. That's why they can send shit across the world in milliseconds. Do you understand what I'm saying? And this is just the human mindset. This is what Donald Hoffman's on about, okay? So this isn't me. I don't do anything, you guys. I am a nobody. I am a shithead. I am a drunk. I am a loser. I am a failure. I am nobody. I use them in defense. Donald Hoffman, go. John von Neumann, go. Kurt Gödel, go. Nagarjuna, go. The Buddha, go. Jesus, go. I don't do anything. I play cards, guys. I'm sitting here playing a card game, okay? A card game of logic. I don't even do philosophy anymore. No offense. And I love Schopenhauer to death, dude. Schopenhauer was up. He's what's up. He was the greatest mind in the West, in my opinion, because he had this shit in the bag before even, like, quantum mechanics, okay? But... And now you're probably like, well, how do we all have different minds? And that's the beautiful thing, you guys. Nature is ineffable. So there's something I call the polar bear axiom. And also, real quick, we're going to take a sidetrack. I'm going to see if I can name all 33 steps up the pyramid to the polar bear axiom. Here we go. 1. I'm going to get this away so there's nothing here in front of me. 1. Max Planck. 2. Marie Curie. 3. Hendrik Lorentz. 4. Albert Einstein. 5. Hans Geiger. 6. Louis de Broglie. 7. Werner Heisenberg. 8. Erwin Schrodinger. 9. Max Born. 10. Niels Bohr. 11. Pascal Jordan. 12. J. Robert Oppenheimer. 13. Paul Dirac. 14. Georg Cantor. Love him. 15. Kurt Gödel. My boy. I love all these guys. 16. Alan Turing. Love him. 17. Love all these guys. Just didn't want you to think I didn't love the gay guy. That's what we need to understand, you guys. We gotta let all these labels go, okay? Just be yourself. Don't hurt other people. Okay, Alan Turing, 16. 17, John von Neumann. Ugh, you guys, he's the kill card. He's the greatest card in the deck. As soon as any of these people try to run their mouths, boom, John von Neumann. What are you going to do about it? This is your math. This is your puzzle. You can't just... See, we're literally governed by spoiled children, okay? We're run by academic elite children who made the game and then disobey the rules and cheat. They don't even tell you about John von Neumann. John von Neumann mathematically proved that a conscious observer is necessary to take Schrodinger's wave out of superposition. And just to let you know, when you study Buddhism and Jesus' miracles, there's no such thing as an actual full percent collapse. And that's actually mathematically proven true, with every supposed collapsed wave as still having a 0.0001%, all the other zeros after all that. So when you think about all these zeros, only 4 zeros in front isn't that much. So that's why these miracles happen, because these saints or these yogis or these masters or these whatever know what the hell's up, you guys. So nothing's ever fully collapsed, okay? But it's essentially collapsed. It might as well be. For you and I. You and I... Don't be trying to do cities. That's not the point. That's not the point. The point is to do your own city and reposition your one-dimensional filter to get a better 2D mind stream to create a better 3D experience. That's the only city we need to be working on, okay? But let's get back to the list. 17 is von Neumann. 18 is Wolfgang Pauli. Best name on the list, by the way. 19 is Eugene Wigner. He goes so well with von Neumann because he's such a partner, because you can't have Wigner without von Neumann. You can't have you can have von Neumann without Wigner because he came first, but Wigner is what completes von Neumann, because it's kind of, Wigner's kind of what gives Buddhism again the upper hand on the explanation as to what's going on here, because Buddhism says there isn't a reality like Advaita, Vedanta, Kriya Yoga, or Kashmir Shaivism does. They say, no, it's all consciousness, Brahman, Paramashiva. Buddhism comes from that. It's like Jesus comes from the Jews, from Judaism. So the Jews believe in God out there, but Jesus actually said, I am God. God is me. And that's what we're talking about here. Jesus was actually a non-dual teacher. His teachings became perverted, like the West does with everything, perverts everything. Guys, the West is good at manipulating reality, but the West isn't good at being with reality. The West doesn't know anything about reality in the sense of what's actually going on here. It knows how to make what's going on here good for a few people, but that's it. So anyways, Wigner, he mathematically proves that we each have our own actual reality, but not separate. Not. It's just that where Advaita Vedanta says everything's one, Buddhism says everything's interconnected. Do you see that? So we're all a jewel on Indra's net. And Indra's net, you guys, is the same thing as Buckminster Fuller's geodesic grid. Do you see what I'm saying? It's all the same thing, you guys. It's all the same thing. And so Wigner's phenomenal. Love Wigner. He was kind of a bitch later on, though, and completely, because I think he got pressured into it, but he later went down the road of decoherence because he didn't like that it took all these different conscious observers necessary for collapsing and stuff, their own reality. He thought it was too much, so he backed out. I think he actually knew, and he was pressured. Just my opinion. Not any real truth. But anyways, moving on. So Wigner proves that we each have our own interconnected reality. Nothing solipsist. If there's anything, it's cosmic solipsism, and it's G. The infinite Vantablack plenum void. That's... I forget what I was talking about. But cosmic solipsism. That's the only thing that's solipsistic. Because, guys, go back to my seizure for a minute. If do a thought experiment, if every single one of us had a seizure at the exact same time, a void seizure at the exact same moment, let's not even do the multiverse, let's just stick to the universe. And Sean Carroll, I hear you, bro, but I'm not talking about your multiverse. Your multiverse is decoherence kicking the can down the road. Let's just stick to this universe. I honestly forget what I was talking about, but I think it had to do with cosmic solipsism, decoherence, and all that stuff. So, you do not exist alone. You are interconnected to everyone and everything, but everyone and everything is you. Oh, right, because we were doing the thought experiment. Because you guys, think about it. If every being in this universe had a void seizure at the exact same time, this entire universe would collapse back into the 0 point, the infinite awareness being, infinite plenum void. When I say plenum void, it's essentially saying awareness being, okay? It's the same thing. Plenum void is Western scientific, awareness being is Eastern spiritual. And the Western scientific is more left-brained, and the Eastern spiritual is more right-brained, okay? But they go together, the exact same thing. Every time a Buddhist master, a Kriya master, an Advaita master, a Kashmir Shaivist master, anytime they've ever performed an actual siddhi like teleportation, telekinesis, anything that would blow our minds, all they're doing is, I can't really think of a better word right now. They're not manipulating reality, like controlling something separate from them. What they're doing is they are becoming so one, so attuned, that there is no separation. To you and I, it's language. It's not complete truth because we haven't witnessed that. Have you ever pulled a spoon towards you? No, so don't worry about it. It's kind of like the same thing like I said about before in other videos. Like, are there spirits around you right now? No, so don't worry about it. We're focusing on actual reality. Western, scientific, mathematic, quantum knowledge just happens to be lining up with Eastern knowledge, okay? There are people in the West who have been onto this, Jesus being number one, okay? Arthur Schopenhauer being number two. Guys, all the Greek Neoplatonists. Plotinus, my boy, dude. Hypatia, my girl, dude. Meister Eckhart. Oh my god, I wouldn't be here without Meister Eckhart. Meister Eckhart was my It went like this, you guys. Somehow, I'm just gonna cut right to Meister Eckhart. Oh, right. Alan Watts, G. Krishnamurti, Rupert Spira, Bernardo Kastrup, Donald Hoffman, all that road, but also Rupert Spira. Rupert Spira brought me down so many different people, and one of them happened to be Meister Eckhart. Oh, and Eckhart Tolle, right. So those two people brought me to Meister Eckhart, and Meister Eckhart brought me back to Jesus. Do you see what I'm saying? And Jesus, dude, talking about, like, doesn't it say in your text that ye are gods and heaven is within you and Father and I are one? Guys, this is all non-duality, and it doesn't just get to not be because some people have a lot of gold and a whole city called the Vatican City, a whole country called the Vatican City to themselves. Just because people say things are true doesn't mean it's actually true. Like this, you gotta go research all the things. What did I say about this? This is an insane number. You shouldn't believe that. You should go research that. That every second when you look at the universe quantum idealistically, does reality flicker, quote unquote, in and out that many times a second? Go research that. Go. Because, dude, that's what I'm talking about. Don't believe anything. Question everyone. Question everything. You're gonna arrive back at yourself if you're doing it right. You are the truth. There's no truth outside of you. Nobody has greater authority than you. You are the whole shebang, okay? Just as I am the whole shebang. Because there's only one shebang going on here. Now, the Buddhists don't like that. They say it's non-dual. There's not two shebangs going on here, which means there's only one shebang going on here. Which is Brahman, Paramashiva, Meister Eckhart's the Godhead. But the Buddhists aren't a big fan of that because, guys, that's something to cling to. The only thing you guys can cling to, once you understand the Western and the Eastern side, and when you really look at true people who understand Advaita Vedanta, Kashmir, Shaivism, and Kriya Yoga, they're going to agree with everything I'm about to say. There's nothing to cling to. You can only be now. You can only live now. There's only now. And the now isn't even a thing. The now is 10 zillion times a second. Like every one Mississippi, 10 zillion times. This thing just came in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And it didn't go... It's not like an annihilation, nihilistic nothing. It's a plenum of infinite potential. But mental potentiality. Energetic potentiality. If matter equals energy, energy equals consciousness. Awareness equals reality, okay? A equals B equals C equals A. I don't know if I told you guys about this yet, but the polar bear axiom, it's all about the polar bear. All you need is a polar bear. The polar bear is actually black skin. Jet black skin. That jet black skin has endless dermal papillae. Endless. Let's just say an infinite amount of dermal papillae. Okay, I can talk. Well, no, I don't know. I don't know how many hairs a polar bear actually has, but it doesn't matter. See, this is the Western mind becoming so trapped in numbers and logic. The polar bear has uppercase X amount of dermal papillae, which dermal papillae are just skin cells that create the hair. Now, guys, you have to understand this, that a jet black polar bear, the jet black skin creates transparent hair. And when we view the polar bear, it comes back at us as white. Okay? That's exactly what's going on there. There is no thing different. You don't need to go any further. You can understand the most extremes of Buddhism and all of quantum field theory with the polar bear. There is nothing going on here outside of the polar bear. All that's happening here is that a infinite Vantablack plenum void, the energy is vibrating, really more generating, and degenerating. But we'll stick with vibrating for Nikola Tesla. So it's vibrating in and out of existence at a frequency of 10 zillion. Whatever that number was, it's more. It's 10 to the power 43. Every second. That's why because your brain can't, you're literally blind to reality. That's like this whole spectrum thing with like the ultraviolet and the infrared and all that. Because the brain is a transmitter, a transceiver, a transducer, a reducing valve. It's everything. It's taking the... You guys, when I had that void seizure, it was instantaneous. But like 10 to 15, 7 to 10, I had been saying 7 to 10, could have been 15. Anywhere from 7 to 10 minutes. Because again, I don't know. It happened 5 years ago. I forgot to ask. But obviously, they had to call. They had to get me on the ground. They had to get their stuff together, call 911. 911 had to receive the call, come over, do all that stuff. So guys, that took actual time. Being generous to my coworkers and the EMTs, 7 minutes. Fast down Route 1 or wherever. 10 minutes, being more realistic. 15, being, just expecting it. I don't know. But it doesn't matter if it took a minute. It doesn't matter. Because it took time for them to get me on the ground, for another coworker to call, for them to get the call, for them to get ready, get in the ambulance, race over, get to me, take care of me, get me on a stretcher, get me in the ambulance, start driving away. I woke up in the ambulance. But guys, this all happened instantaneously, okay? But it took time. But guys, that's because we're all the same void. So let's just imagine I have a void seizure, then all my coworkers have a void seizure. Then everybody in that plaza has a void seizure. Then everybody, all instantaneously, like instantaneous dominoes. And then everybody in that town where the plaza was had a void seizure. And then everyone in that state where that town was, where that restaurant was, has a void seizure. And then everybody in that country, in that state, in that town, in that restaurant. And then everybody on that planet with that country, in that state, with that town, in that restaurant. And then everybody in that galaxy. Or solar system. Then everybody in that galaxy. Then everybody in the universe. Just collapsing back into. Just. That's it. That's all it's going. It's not. That's why you don't want to get, sell your soul or do anything awful or even really anything that could offend or hurt another. Because you are that. This is not real in the sense that you think it's real. It's phenomenally relative. Because everything is decaying all the time. Everything is constantly changing. The only thing that's real is that which never changes. You guys, what are you talking about? Everything's changing. Everything flickers in and out. 10 zillion times a second. That's the definition of change. So how do you find solidity? How do you find anything to stand on? That's what Buddhism's about. And that's what pure Advaita Vedanta, Kashmir Shaivism, Kriya Yoga, Christian mysticism, Sufism, true Kabbalah is all about. And that's what true understanding of quantum field theory, quantum mechanics, when Bohr said there's no such thing as a phenomenon. It's something like, what did he say? He said, there's no such thing as a phenomenon until a phenomenon becomes observed phenomenally, or something like that. But guys, this is what's weird about what went on essentially about 100 years ago at the 1927 Solvay conference, because Bohr was saying shit like that while Schrodinger and Planck and Sir Arthur Eddington were sitting there and they loved Vedanta and the Upanishads and stuff like that. But guys, even they didn't understand that because they were going for the continuum. Schrodinger was trying to keep the world of classical Maxwell alive through the quantum world. Little did Schrodinger know that he was actually taking the Upanishads and realizing Buddhism through it, okay? And it's not to say that the Upanishads, Vedas, Vedanta, Kashmir Shaivism, Kriya Yoga, it's not to say that any of that stuff is wrong. Because it's not. It's just that Buddhism is the how. Buddhism is the description of what's going on here, okay? And you have to understand that the Buddha comes from a world where everything was Brahman. Everybody was looking for that thing that they already were. So they were like being super gaslit, which is different than what was going on in the West, where we were being gaslit in a way of it being like that truth is separate from you. They were being like, that truth's already here. But the human comes psychologically packaged to be not complete. You guys, if you want to know how is experiential. You can't know how. But the why of what's going on here, guys, is because, well, first off, it's what it is. It does this like you do your heartbeat, because it is your heartbeat. But also, if you want more of a understanding, it's because it wants to know itself. It wants to have fun with itself. It wants to enjoy itself, because you are that. Do you want to enjoy life? Well, that's the void speaking through you. The plenum void speaking through you. That's not your ego. Your ego's trying to keep you from that. Your ego's saying, no, bro, you're just whatever your name, race, gender, sex, country, origin, age. That's your ego. Plenum void's trying to scream through you, but this is where it becomes like spiritual, don't think like that. Just know, observing human behavior enough that, yeah, we come predisposed to being fucked up if we are not treated with love. Which gets me into what's been going on here since civilization, because it's a reason why hundreds of thousands of years of hunter-gatherers went on, because we probably didn't come out too fucked up. We were probably coming out pretty fucking chill and loving with each other, because there was really nothing else going on here. They make you think like you don't want to live like that, and I'm not saying we should go back like that. But they were minimalist. We need to be able to enjoy the abundance of technology, electricity, heat, air conditioning. We need to be able to enjoy the abundance with a minimalistic approach. Because, guys, there's nothing going on here to hold on to except the process that you call yourself. I'll try to wrap this up. We're going to stick with the 11 dimensions of string theory. I'm not even saying string theory and stuff like that's wrong. You're just approaching it wrong. We're going to keep this. Dimension 6 and 11 is just the behind the scenes working of how things of how the G vibrates. Like how the atoms form and stuff. That's all that math is. That stuff's like, I have no interest in that. None. Recognize it and move on. But people like Brian Greene and stuff love it, and let them love it, dude. That's what they're there for. No offense, not to say like he's only good for that, but that's his love, that's his passion. Saying Brian Greene isn't meant to look into those realms of existence is like saying that, like the Beatles weren't meant to sing music. I don't care. That's my favorite band of all time. So you were meant to be you. That's why you actually are important. You are special. And so my point is, getting back, is so those dimensions are there. What's actually going on here, you guys, is the 0 point is zero dimensional. It's infinite potential. And it's what gives rise to you and everything else, okay? To the dome of a world starting here. The big old dome of existence. That's the Buckminster Fuller Dome. Okay? But that's not zero dimensional. Zero dimensional is ineffable. You have to meditate, have a void seizure, or something else go wrong to witness your pure being. The first dimension is thoughts. It's the I. It's you. It's the I that's been you for all of your knowing. And it's all the thoughts you have. Thoughts are one-dimensional. They can have length. Big old thought. That's a long thought. That's a mean thought. That's a mean thought. That's a happy thought, right? Like, that's that. Now, two-dimensional is your mindset. And this is, yes, if you're curious, this isn't something to focus on again because this is more things to focus on. This, if you need to focus on anything, it's the zero-dimensional plenum void, Godhead, Brahman, pure awareness being. Okay? That's it. That's the only thing. And it's no thing. It's ineffable. It's not anything I could ever say to you. The most accurate description as someone who's witnessed it that I continuously say is infinite Vanta Black plenum voiding. So one dimension is your thought, thinking, going into two dimension, and yes, like I was saying, this is your soul stream or your mind stream and your current mindset, okay? Your current mindset. Are you thinking happy? Are you thinking proper? Are you thinking good thoughts? I can tell you from experience that it's all about shifting. Think of it like an inner, like, tornado, like an inner vortex. And that first point is where it attaches to the plenum void. And it kind of just like a funnel, like Mario Kart or something. And it funnels out you, this whole thing. And right at the surface layer, right at your brain, we'll just stick to the materialist world, right here, where all of our thoughts arise. Let's just stick to the easy. This isn't quite right, but we're going to just stick to it. Right at the surface of your mind is your mindset. Where are you? Where is this? How are you thinking? What are you thinking? Do you hate everything? Do you love everything? Are you indifferent to everything? Do you see? Because you have to, like, adjust it. Because it, like, I can tell you that, like, before, like, I was over here, like, I'm very left-brained, very materialistic, nihilistic, pessimistic, atheistic, narcissistic, pick yourself up by your bootstraps, what are you, one of them fucking idealists, bunch of shit, And then, I kind of came over here, and then I became pretty spiritual, and I remember getting yelled at one time on YouTube because I was new, and I said something like, I know that there's no us, and we're all one, and then someone was, like, upset at me, and I was like, okay, I need to check myself. So I went from really far over here to really far over here, and then I kind of, like, moved the vortex to just, like, funnel center, the middle way, like Buddha taught, and it just funnels out here, now, being, now, loving, now, always, now. Every particle I observe is me. Just excitations within an ocean of energy, okay? Your consciousness, awareness being, is the energy. The generation is a more appropriate word than vibration. And the frequency is this number. But the frequency for your thoughts is how often are you thinking these bad thoughts, these negative thoughts, these encroaching thoughts, these putting you down, not empowering you thoughts? How often? Is it frequent? Because you guys, this is what we've learned, okay? This is how I know quantum idealism is true. The photoelectric thing with Einstein. He discovered that intensity doesn't matter, it's the frequency. So if you're blasting a big old light, but your frequency's not enough, that's not going to do nearly as much as taking that light down a peg or two and blasting the shit out of it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, that's what's going on here. Just like, literally. That's the photoelectric effect. But that's your mind, too. That's how I know it's true, because I witnessed it. And you'll probably, if you choose to experience this, follow this path, you'll probably experience it too. Like, you start to see the things around you change because you look at them different. Nothing's here without you. You are the truth. So, you can want to be better, like a big old light, all you want, but it doesn't matter. Einstein proved it. You need, and Planck and Einstein did this early in the 1900s, very early. They proved it comes in discrete, indivisible packets of energy. That's frequency. Tesla. Think in terms of frequency, energy, and vibration. The energy is consciousness. The vibration is the generation and degeneration. And the frequency is how often. How often, right? Like, think of a wheat field. A wheat field. Reality, and the energy is the wind. How often does the wind blow? The vibration is the blowing. The energy is the actual air. The wind. Vibration. Frequency. How often are you thinking? And that's the other thing. Like, if you're going to be thinking, you're going to want to think, you're going to want to center your thought, your mind stream. Right? You're going to want to center your mindset and your mind stream, the vortex that is your whirling one-dimensional point, the eye, swirling up all the thoughts. From zero-dimensional point, we'll just say behind your eyes. It's not correct, but we'll just say it for now. When you close your eyes, we'll do this real quick too, the blink exercise. We'll just do 2 of them. Right now, this is girdle. Resting, identifying as the Vanta Black plenum void, as pure awareness being. When we open, boom, John von Neumann, creation. Okay? I forgot what I was talking about. I can't quite remember, but the point is that energy isn't electromagnetic. The electromagnetic field, that stuff, what we call energy, what we know as energy, is just what awareness being, what consciousness looks like when viewed. Do you see what I'm saying? Because it's all just a play. John Wheeler said to Richard Feynman, I know why all the electrons are the same mass. It's because it's one electron moving really fast back and forth. It's not one electron universe. It's the single luminous pulsating black photon universe. Because, you guys, the single luminous black pulsating photon is the 0 point, is the Buddhist void, is the Vedic Brahman, is the Shaivas Paramashiva, is the Taoist Tao, is Meister Eckhart and other Christian mystics Godhead, is the annihilation that the Sufis talk about, is the 0 point of quantum physics, quantum mechanics, quantum field theory, is the plenum. There is no vacuum. Because what that is just an oscillating, generating, degenerating play of energy. It's the single luminous pulsating black photon going so fast, and it's so infinite that it can create all of this, all of us. Okay? That's why people are spiritual. Okay? People like me, like my old self, like I have a saying that I still try to stick by, even though the more and more I study this, I'm like, there's no way you can't be spiritual. Like, there's some form of spirituality inside of every person, no matter how much we try to fight it. Even someone like myself, like, there's a saying I found in the beginning of all this studying, and I kept it. And I still hold it to be true, especially for all of humanity, at least until a certain point in time. When we're all ready. But for now, it has to be true. And it's that, there's no such thing as anything being spiritual, because everything's secular. But there's no such thing as anything being secular, because everything's spiritual. And you guys, what it's trying to say is that the mundane and the monotonous are just as spiritual as the mind-blowing, right? And I honestly cannot remember at all what I was talking about. But in trying to recall, I realized I didn't complete my 33. So I'm going back and not getting sidetracked. I'm starting from 1. Max Planck, Marie Curie, Hendrik Lorentz, Albert Einstein, Hans Geiger, Louis de Broglie, Werner Heisenberg, Erwin Schrodinger, Max Born, Niels Bohr, Pascal Jordan, J. Robert Oppenheimer, Paul Dirac, Georg Cantor, Kurt Gödel, Alan Turing, John von Neumann, Wolfgang Pauli, Eugene Wigner. This is where I was getting sidetracked. Okay, so then we got like John Bell, David Bohm, John Wheeler, Richard Feynman, Sir Arthur Eddington. We should be at 24 right now. Whoops. Roger Penrose is 25. Nikola Tesla is 26. Itzhak Bentov is 27. Donald Hoffman's 28. Steve Jobs is 29. Stephen Hawking is 30. Every other person in existence, in all of existence, every other being, every other creature, every other, we'll just stick with humans, okay? Just keep it easy. Every other human is 31. Because there is no separation here. We are all that plenum void, expressing infinite potential. Consciousness. That's 31. 32 is you. For me, it's me. And 33 is the single luminous pulsating black photon itself, which is what we talk about it as electromagnetically, right? But truly, it's not a photon. It's a plenum void, okay? It's awareness being. It's pure consciousness. That's it. There's nothing else here going on. You are changing at a rapid pace. Everything around you is changing at a rapid pace. And I can assure you that you will never get it actually grounded. So don't try to hold on. You're supposed to learn to fly. You're not supposed to learn to grab a hold of things. That's the problem. Like, no, dude. No. It's about swimming, flying, floating, not me, mine. Me, mine. That's the problem. Honestly, you guys. So, being in honest truth with you guys, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. This song, I can't stop listening to this song. Because what's money? Math. You better have math to disprove John von Neumann and all of Buddhism, in my experience. to keep to physicalism, materialism, scientism, consumerism. And sorry for any dualists out there, like, religious dualists. I'll try to leave you alone. But by me literally cleaving and executing materialism, physicalism, and scientism, I kind of take out dualism too. But, I'm not here to disrupt that. But I am here to disrupt materialism, physicalism, scientism, consumerism. Debase that shit. So, you guys, you better have my money. You better have my math. You better pay me what you owe me in terms of calculations and proof and math that dispute von Neumann, Gödel, Wigner, Cantor. You can't. You just don't want to look at it. You just don't want to admit it. And people are dying out here of a meaning crisis. You guys, this is the fix to the meaning crisis. This is the problem. This is the solution to everything. Not saying me. Not saying I am nothing on no one. You are. This is information that's been held from us. Here, let me finish this last 4 minutes like this. In 1927, coming up on 100 years, in 1927 to 2027 will be 100 years, where Niels Bohr, we already talked about this, they were at the conference. But dude, Bohr was talking the words of Eastern spirituality, Advaita Vedanta non-duality, Buddhist non-duality, calling it Maya, calling it Leela over there. He was speaking that language, but he only had the materialist, mathematical, physical mindset, while people like Schrodinger, who love that stuff, were for the continuum, the continuous energy of Einstein's local deterministic realism. So Schrodinger fell for the trap that Buddha was trying to warn against. Do you see what I'm saying? Because reality's not like that. Reality is a process. Now, if Brahman was anything but a plenum void, infinite potential, expressing itself at infinitum, it would be stagnant. Do you see what I'm saying? So, the Buddha was just trying to explain Brahman in a different way, as Jesus was trying to explain what he understood about Yahweh in a different way. And what went on in the Solvay conference in 1927 was so close to the West being truth, but they missed it because Planck, Schrodinger, and Sir Arthur Eddington, they didn't just understand it quite enough, because even Sir Arthur Eddington went and backstabbed one of his, funny enough, Indian mathematical colleagues. He turned his back on him. That's a whole nother video, a whole nother thing. But we have like 2 minutes left. I'm trying to wrap this up. What I'm trying to say is, you guys, the 1927 conference was a whole bunch of contradictions, confrontation, misunderstanding. They were so close to the truth. Bohr saying there's no phenomenon that becomes a phenomenon until it's an observed phenomenon. That's fucking Buddhism. That is legitimate fucking Buddhism to a T. He just didn't understand it. Schrodinger heard that, didn't like that, because he was stuck on a thing. There's no thing, there's no continuum. Maxwell's wrong, Einstein's wrong. And thinking Brahman to be an actual thing that you can find separate from yourself or anything like that, that's what they were all messed up with at the time, that's wrong. So there was just a whole mess of contradictions. And to real quick to show you another contradiction, Heisenberg created quantum mechanics essentially himself. He found matrix mechanics, but he was on the side of Bohr. He was observing stagnant physical particles in his mind, but he was like, oh, there's nothing there until you observe it. But like, you see, he should have been understanding it differently. It's just like, he created matrix, physical particle mechanics, but he didn't think that there was anything there till you observe it. Like, that's such a contradiction in philosophy. Like, I don't think there's anything there till I observe it. Like, right now, in this transparent hair of the polar bear, there is no qualia. There's nothing except the feeling of what I'm sitting on and me touching my body. Right? And the sound of my music. But there's nothing else going on here. And yeah, there are a lot of like hypotheticals that we can talk about, but for the most part, it's an exercise. There is nothing going on here, okay? As soon as I open my eyes, boom, all sorts of qualia. But you guys, it's qualia all the way down, because even in the plenum void, witnessing the plenum void while voiding, you are nothing but pure awareness. So the quality, and you guys, again, I can say to you, Vanta Black, infinite potential, plenum void, doesn't mean anything. You didn't experience that. Do you know what I'm saying? You need to go witness that, and when you do, there won't be an experience. It'll be a happening. Not even a happening. It'll be just, again, there's no words. It's just that which is. If you truly witness the infinite Vanta Black plenum void, there's nothing going on there. No thing. But pure awareness. See, language is messy. And you guys, it's not like something to go experience. I mean, honestly, yeah, go meditate. Go. But again, don't try to get to a destination. Because this is the destination. Do you understand what I'm saying? This video's gone on way too long. I was just trying to give like a really brief introduction to quantum idealism. So I think for now we'll leave it there with follow your heart, listen to your gut, have an open mind, carry a moral compass, and be love now. #be love now.